Hey guys, I'm Adam. This is On The Break, and welcome to part 4 of the FM20 beta series here with Chelsea. Today we've got a Premier League game at home to Wolves, followed by the Eden Hazard derby away at Real Madrid to decide our fate in the Champions League group stage. Since you were last with us, which was the 5-1 win at home against Atlanta in the Champions League, you can say we've played a lot of games and we've won every single one of them. Form has been absolutely excellent. The guys have really clicked into the few tweaks that we've made to the tactics. So we're not going to go through every game, but a couple to pick out are the 4-1 win at home to West Ham. We played really, really well in this one. Goals from Hudson-Odoi, Tomori, Pedro and Tammy Abraham gave us a convincing win. Yarmolenko got one back for them in the 91st minute, but a really, really convincing win there. We then had a couple of decent results to follow that, a couple of 2-0s at home to Atlanta in the reverse Champions League fixture, or away at Atlanta, sorry, in the reverse Champions League fixture, and then away to Bournemouth in the Premier League. We beat Bayer Leverkusen at home 2-1. That was a good result as well. We did go behind through a Derren Bay free kick, but Kante and Alonso got us the goals to see us through that one. And then most recently, and probably most impressively, a 4-2 win away at Tottenham Hotspur. We weren't at the races in this one at all. We went behind in the 3rd minute to a Harry Kane goal. Golo Kante drew us level with a screamer from the edge of the area, but then we went behind again 3 minutes later. And at half-time, we just weren't with it at all. So we switched from our control possession tactic into our counter-attacking system that we've been training but have hardly used all season. Made a few changes and Mason Mount drew us level. And then finally, we saw something from Christian Pulisic. He grabbed us 2 late goals to put us ahead and seal the win for us. We finally got him to play well. We had him as a winger on an attack duty, which is something I haven't used before for him this season. Anytime he's played as an out-and-out winger, it's been on the support duty. So something to ponder there. We are going to go again against Wolves with Pulisic as the right winger. And we're going to have him on that attack duty again just to see if we can do anything with that. So all of that leaves us sitting in 5th place in the league. We do have a game in hand on the teams above us. If we win that one, we'll go into 3rd. So we are right back in the hunt for a Champions League spot. The form has really pushed us up the table. And we're on course now to achieve what we are looking to do. If you look at the club vision there, you can see at the minute, towards the bottom here, they're satisfied at the minute with the league position, but that is because of the game in hand. It did say before that they were pleased when we were in the top 4 before City played their game ahead of us. So a C+ at the minute overall. You can see that they're pleased with our entertaining football, they're pleased with the win over Spurs and the win over Atlanta, although strangely they're pleased with the 2-0 win more than the 5-1 win. And then in the competition screen, you can see they're top of the Champions League group. We do play Real Madrid. Avoiding defeat will see us top the group. If they beat us, I think it will depend on the score, because I believe head-to-head is the first decider between teams. So we'll conclude the group stage later on and see where we finish and what sort of draw we're likely to get. But we're going to get straight into this Wolves game. I've picked the team ahead of time. I've taken a little note on board from Rico in the comment section, who said that Azpilicueta, a left back, is a really, really high performer. And I did want to get Reece James some games. So we're going to try that out. We'll give it a few goes. It's not going to be a one and done situation just for this match. But we'll see whether it makes a difference. Reece James' delivery is quite good, so it's something I'm keen to see. So we're going to go with Kepa in goal, back 4 of James, Christensen, Rudiger and Azpilicueta, with Kante and Kovacic in midfield, and Pulisic, Mason Mount and Pedro in behind Abraham up front. So Wolves there setting up in quite a defensive 5-4-1. I'm going to say we expect nothing but a win. We do get the first highlight now as James wins the header from a Patricio goal kick, and it goes out to Pedro on the left-hand side. It switches over to Pulisic, who's in acres of space, and James there on the overlap. They work it nicely. It's a good ball in, but it's headed away, and Kante shoots from the clearance just over. Wolves now working it around the back. Bolly with a bit of a loose touch, and the long ball forward is mopped up by Christensen, and now we get the chance to build. knocking it around nicely between James and Christensen, and we're coming again down this right-hand side. Nice little passing movement. And the way we've been playing lately has really, really been impressive, but Kovacic with a loose ball. And we're lucky that Wolves don't try to do something more with that. Kovacic goes out wide to Reece James. Ball's in. It's a deep ball, which Doherty clears. And Azpilicueta collects. Are we going to be able to come again? It goes out wide against Pulisic. Can he do something with it? He's past his man. And he knocks it into Tammy Abraham, who puts it in. 1-0 Chelsea. 10 minutes on the clock. Tammy Abraham's 11th goal of the season. And it's a lovely move. Really patient build-up play. Pulisic collects. I thought his touch was a bit heavy, but he takes it past his man, cuts inside. And Abraham with the smart finish. Patricio's got no chance in goal. Free kick now from Reece James out wide left. It's nodded down. And we make it 2-0. Rudiger's shot was saved, and it fell to Mason Mount, who just taps in the rebound. Mount's had a few games out of the team where Ross Barkley's played quite well, but he's back in today and he's grabbed a goal. The original header, I think, was a clearance. Rudiger's shot is saved by Patricio. Should probably do better. And Mason Mount's there, and you can't really miss from that range. Back up to third in the table. We're looking really, really good now. We're exactly where we need to be. And if we can keep pushing and keep this good run of form up, then I think we're in a really strong place for the second half of this season. Mount now with the corner, headed away by Doherty. It's a bit of head tennis with Rudiger. Kante, and it's 3-0 Chelsea. Wolves not even had a shot yet, only 38% of the ball. We are absolutely dominating them in this one. 25 minutes gone, 3-0 up. Mount's corner is headed away by Doherty. Rudiger puts it back in. Cody tries to clear again, but Rudiger collects. And it's a simple layoff, and Kante just rifles it into the top corner. He's really stepped up lately. His form has been a lot better in the last sort of 5-6 games or so than it has been all season in N'Golo Kante. He really has started to run the midfield for us. And we're coming again now. When we play well, we play really, really well. Reece James on the right-hand side is Kante again. And he's hit the bar. Vallejo just about clears. But we are running rampant again today. Just like we did in the Atlanta fixture that you guys saw last time out. As Doherty now rushes the clearance, Rudiger's got all the time in the world to collect. And I love that the centre-halves have just got the confidence to start bringing the ball forward, and we really do build from them, working it again. Everything's going through Kovacic and Kante. Ball's in again from Reece James. And Kovacic collects, knocking it around nicely on the edge of the area. It's spread again, and Kante picks up. Is he going to shoot again? No, he goes up wide left to Azpilicueta, who knocks it in. And Mason Mount heads just wide. A few complacency issues creeping in here. We may be 3-0 up, but we do need to keep an eye. It's Mount again now with the corner. And he collects again from the clearance. Kovacic is turned to have a shot. No, he plays back to Kante and they're knocking it around nicely. Are we going to be able to work something out now to Pulisic? And again we go out wide to the fullbacks. And Pulisic is in, shoots just wide. So half time then, 3-0 up. And about as dominant a first half as I think I've ever seen. 23 shots, only 11 on target, which is a little bit of a concern. But I would imagine with the amount of long shots we're having, that probably comes into play. But 63% of the ball. And we are looking insanely good. I'm going to tell them assertively not to get complacent. And they've gained focus. So we'll see how this body language goes in the second half. I want to get Loftus-Cheek on. He has played a couple of times since he's come back from injury. The problem is the players I would take off for him are both playing really well. I think we're going to try and Mount out on the left wing again as that inverted winger. And we're going to get Loftus-Cheek in the number 10 role as the attacking midfielder. Although I think actually we're going to change him to a shadow striker. Just the one change. I think we'll probably see something of Hudson-Odoi in a bit. He wasn't quite fit enough to start this one. I'd try to get as much, or get the fittest players in, as long as they're playing well. And Pedro's been playing well lately, to be fair. We're building again. Reece James on the overlap. Knocks it back to Kante, who has another go. And Kante wants more goals here. He's had a lot of shots today already. Been playing really well there on the 8.8 now. He's having an insane game from the centre of midfield. Just past the hour mark. We are going to get Hudson-Odoi on. I think now is the time that Mason Mount comes off. Hudson-Odoi far more natural in that role. Rather than being the number 10, he is a natural winger. the game's pretty much done. We're coming again now. Kante lays off to Kovacic. Nice little 1-2s again, and James camps up on the edge of the area. Kante goes again. And I don't know what he's had for breakfast this morning, but he's certainly enjoying himself. James now with the corner. It's cleared by Moutinho, and Cutrone goes one-on-one with Azpilicueta. Luckily, the highlight fizzles out, because I think I fancied the Wolves forward in that one-on-one there. And then as that last change, we're going to get Rudiger off. He's playing better, but he's slightly more tired, so Zuma can come on. I think it's maybe the first time we've seen Zuma and Christensen as a partnership this season. But a really, really good performance and another really, really good win, as it does finish 3-0. Wolves did finally have their shot, so we couldn't keep them out completely. But, I mean, it wasn't even highlight worthy, so we were never under any threat as soon as we went ahead, really. And certainly when we went 2-0 up through Mason Mount, kind of felt that the game was done. We're going to tell the boys that they were excellent, passionately. I'm very happy with the result and the way you've played. They all look delighted. And another job well done. So we've got 3 days until the Madrid game. We're going to have to rest the boys up. But we will be back to bring you that Champions League group stage deciding game in just a sec. Right then, guys, welcome back. We're back a touch early because we've had our youth intake preview. Obviously, this is a new feature for this year that works in with the development centre, but you've got positive and negative aspects. So if we have a little look through, we've got a lot of new fullbacks coming and a lot of wingers coming. At least one of the fullbacks has plenty of promise. So does one of the centre halves, and so does one of the wingers. So that's nice. We've got some handy prospects coming. One of them is a good young English left back from Walthamstow. He's really caught the eye, so could well be that he's going to be towards the higher end of the scale when it comes to potential. But most importantly, we should be really optimistic about this group of young players. So that's a message that's nice to see, because obviously it's a few months in advance yet. So if you get the message at the bottom there saying, we shouldn't be too excited about this lot, then you've got months of just waiting for them to turn up, knowing that they're probably not going to be much cop. But if we have a look into the negatives, no defensive midfielders coming through. Not really a massive issue, to be fair. No wing backs. Again, we play with a back four, so not so much of a problem. Most of the new central midfielders don't look like they'll ever be good enough for the first team. Now, central midfield obviously is an area that we're always going to use, so that's a shame. But I think we've done alright, because again, the next crop of wide midfielders, we don't use those. Most of our attacking midfielders coming through look to be below the required standard. Again, I mean, we've already got Andrin in the under-23s, who's a 5-star prospect, so probably not the biggest disappointment. But most of our new strikers coming through is a shame, because we could have done with a little wonder kid striker, maybe someone to rival Mason Greenwood at Man United. That would have been nice. So plenty of new fullbacks, plenty of wingers, players that hopefully we can make use of once they roll around, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to have a look when they get here. Obviously they're going to play against the under-23s or the under-18s, whoever it is they play, in that one-off match, but that's not for a few months yet. But a nice little feature. It's nice to be able to have a little look, and it'll be interesting to see whether this information changes. Obviously, these players are in the club somewhere. Although we can't get access to them, they are already part of the club. So it'll be interesting to see whether this information changes, whether maybe people drop out, or obviously potential is variable, so whether some of these strikers suddenly go on to look like high potential players will be really, really interesting to see. So, into the big game of the episode. Chelsea versus Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Nothing there about Hazard being unavailable, so you have to assume he's going to play. Madrid need to beat us to stand any chance of qualifying top from the group. And if you were giving me this situation at the start of the season, or when the draw was made, I absolutely would have taken it. So we'll have a little look through the team, and I think the first and the biggest thing that we're going to do is that. I think we're going to play this counter-attacking system for this one. We tried to control possession away at Spurs, and for the first half they battered us. So if Spurs are going to batter us, Real Madrid are going to hammer us. So we've got a few changes to make. So we'll have a little look. First thing we're going to do, Azpilicueta is going to go back over to this side. Just because I want him to be where he's the most reliable. And then we can bring Emerson back in at left back for Reece James. It's not the kind of fixture that I want Reece James in, if I'm honest. He can come off the bench if necessary. But I think it's a big game to start him when he's only had a handful of appearances. Kante is going to play as the box-to-box midfielder. The biggest downside of this system is it means that Kovacic misses out. Or do we just play him as that attacking midfielder? Can he do it? Oh, yeah, he can do it. Oh, well, there we go then. That solves that issue. So Kovacic is going to play the more advanced role today. Kante's not really... That's not a level of fitness I would usually start him at, but look at those last 5 games. He's so important for us. I think he has to stay in. Hudson-Odoi is going to come back in. We're going to take a risk and start with Pulisic, just based on how well he played in this system in the second half against Spurs when he came off the bench. But we are going to get Jorginho in as that defensive midfielder. And then I think, other than just putting Tomori back in at centre-back, I think we're good with that. So we are going to go with Kepa in goal. Back four of Azpilicueta, Tomori, Rudiger and Emerson, with Jorginho as the holding midfielder. Kante and Kovacic in front of him, with Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi out wide and Abraham up front. There he is then, the main man, Eden Hazard. You don't need to be introduced to any of this lot really. The team kind of picks itself. Obviously Courtois is also back to face his old club. Left in inglorious circumstances, shall we say. But we're going to get into this one. And it's the first time really that we've been able to give the underdogs talk. So passionately, I'm going to get them to give a performance to cheer from. The wingers look motivated, and so does Dave at right back there. I'm sure his nickname's Dave. If not, I've looked like a right clown now. But hopefully someone will be able to tell me that I was right to say that. But yeah, it's a big game, but I think we've got a good chance. So we're half an hour in and there's nothing going on. We haven't even had a highlight yet. Bale and Hazard already struggling for fitness, something to keep an eye on. They may have to come off fairly early in the second half. But we're going to get all the way to half-time here without a shot on target. Which isn't great, but quite honestly, suits us more than it suits them. Obviously, a draw keeps us top of the group. So we can't complain too much at that. I think we're going to go unchanged. There's a couple of players not playing well. Cesar Azpilicueta, ironically, is one of them, after what I said about Reece James. And Hudson-Odoi the other. Obviously, it's a big night for these two. Hudson-Odoi and Abraham, they're what, 18 and 19? Or is Abraham a bit older than that? Oh, Abraham's 22. Alright, fair enough. But still, both really young players. Probably the biggest night of either of their careers, to be fair. But we're going to stay unchanged for now, because we haven't seen anything to suggest that we need to change it. And if we can keep this a scrappy game, you see their Bale's off already. Hazard can't be far behind him, I wouldn't have thought. Benzema having a shocking game. There goes Hazard. But we do now get the first highlight almost an hour into the game. And Real Madrid building with Varane out to Odriozola. And they'll knock it around nicely here. They always do a big ball from Varane out to Mendy on the left. Vasquez is unmarked and he hits the crossbar. So a bit of a let-off there. The first warning signs. We are going to make a change. Hudson-Odoi is going to come off. The more experienced Pedro going to come on for him. He's not had a good game as Hudson-Odoi. So we'll get him off and see if Pedro can nick something for us. As we now get a highlight with Jorginho. But he loses out to James Rodriguez, who can break on us now on this left-hand side. Benzema comes to collect the ball and Vasquez is in again. And shoots wide. So we are starting to see some bits now from Madrid. They're starting to come into this game a little bit more. Time's getting away from them though. And we've been shocking. We've seen absolutely nothing. Cruz now with the corner. And it's headed away. And they have got the goal. James Rodriguez. And he scores from the header away from Rudiger. And what do we do now? What does this do to the group? Cruz puts the corner in. It's flicked on by Militao, headed away by Rudiger, and James smashes it. Kepa gets a hand, but it's not enough. And we're going to have to pause here, because it does mean that Real Madrid go top of the group. We won 1-0, they're now winning 1-0. and they have the better goal difference, so we need a goal. So, 10 minutes to go. Let's go back to what we know. Mason Mount is going to come on for Jorginho. We're going to go more attacking. And I think we're going to try and do what we did to them in the first game when they went down to 10 men, and we're going to stretch the play, and we're going to hit early crosses. We're going to up that tempo. I don't think we need the pass in that direct, but we're going to really up the tempo now. We're going to play for set pieces, and we're just going to see if we can do anything. Is there another change we can make? Pulisic has been quiet again, so we'll get Willian on. Pedro can change to an inside forward, get him to be a little bit more direct, with Willian sitting as the more supportive winger. And I don't think it's going to make a difference, if I'm honest. I don't think we're going to grab this late goal, but we need to give it a go, because if we lose 2-0, we'll still finish second in the group. But time's got away. It has finished 1-0, and we've been a bit unlucky there, to be fair. I mean, in the end, the stats show that they've absolutely dominated us. But obviously, we know from the lack of highlights that they didn't really have any really good chances. They've just got that one opportunity from the corner, and they've taken it like the best clubs do. So you can't criticise. We're still through. The goal was to get through, which we've done. We've achieved that. Yes, it's disappointing to not finish top, but it could certainly have been worse. So we'll have a talk about the draw for the quarterfinals in the next episode when we come back. We should have had the draw by then, I think. But if we jump into the schedule, I think we're going to bring you something slightly different. We're going to do the FA Cup third round. Not a huge game. It's at home to Swindon, so you would expect us to absolutely dominate that one. It's not going to be a clash of the Titans, but it's an opportunity to see a few of the kids. Andrew may well get some game time. By then, we'll be back into January, so we may even have the likes of Masonda recalled. And who was the other one? Billy Gilmore, I think we said we were going to recall. So we could see the likes of them, assuming that we can recall them from their loans. And then we'll finish that one off with what is going to be a big game at home to Liverpool. So then, guys, if you've enjoyed that, please leave a like on it for me. It does help the channel massively, and it means a hell of a lot as well. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss any FM20 content. And thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.